Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bruce Gordon with the Department of Public Safety, Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Thank you for joining us here today. We're here to announce a $180,000 potential reward to help solve the cases that you're all too familiar with, the shootings of 3 children here in Minneapolis. The cases are being investigated by the Minneapolis Police Department with the assistance of other agencies, including the BCA. We'll also talk about a new billboard campaign that will draw additional attention to these cases so that we can solve the cases and bring some answers to families that truly deserve that. You're going to be hearing from a number of speakers here this morning. First, Chief Arredondo from the Minneapolis Police Department, Assistant Commissioner Booker Hodges from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, Superintendent Drew Evans from the BCA, Robert Dennison, the Chairman of Crime Stoppers of Minnesota, Dan Ballard, the President of Clear Channel Outdoor, who will talk about the billboard campaign. And then you'll hear from the families, and they will talk about the case and the efforts to solve these homicides and these shootings. So with that, let me turn it over to Chief Arredondo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Madera Arredondo of the Minneapolis Police Department. And while I'm here joined today by members of our local and state law enforcement community, the reason I'm here is to support the family members of Ladavionne Jr., of Trinity, and of Aniya. And so I want to make sure that our city understands that our families, they need a sense of closure. They have not received that yet. As peace officers who've taken a sworn oath to protect the most vulnerable in our communities, to protect our most precious resources, our children, we need to get closure on this as well. And so while I'm very thankful, and the BCA will talk more, and I want to thank Spotlight on Crime for raising the funds, the reward money, we're not done yet. We're not done yet until we also live in a city, in a community, where we truly care. We look out after our children and our most vulnerable. And so again, I want to make sure that we all know that we are here in support, and we will remember and remain in support of our families and for our children. And so right now, I'd like to bring up Assistant Commissioner Booker Hodges of the BCA.
Thanks, Chief. Before I get started, I just want to thank the family for being here. I can only imagine how tough this is for you. Chief Arredondo, I want to thank you and your detectives for all the hard work that you're doing. My name is Booker Hodges. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. I'm the second highest ranking officer in the state behind my boss, Commissioner John Harrington. But my remarks today will not be in that vein. I was born and raised here in North Minneapolis. And unfortunately, for those of us who've been born and raised here in North Minneapolis, this is a horror movie that we've seen before, 21 years ago when Kevin Brewer had got shot. And just like most horror movies, the rendition, the sequel, or the relaunching, this one has 3 times the victims. And it's just one of these things living over north. We can't keep making these movies. To the persons who did this or who know who did this, I know that pain has got to be getting to you. I'm pretty sure you can't sleep. You can't eat. You've probably figured out by now that drugs and alcohol won't subside that pain. That pain is going to eat at you like a cancer. And unlike cancer, there is no chemotherapy that's going to relieve that pain. The only way you can relieve that pain is to do what you know is right. We all know is right. So you can start to get some peace back in your life. And more importantly, so these families can get some peace back in their life. I know justice looks intimidating. All these crying families, grieving families, all these shiny badges, but that pain, the only way you can get rid of that pain is to do what you know is right and turn yourself in. You can't escape this regardless on TV, social media. Aniya, Trinity, Ladavionne. Everywhere you go, that's all you're gonna see. And that pain is not gonna go away until you do what's right. So with that, I'll bring up who's next.
Good afternoon. My name is Drew Evans, and I am the superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. I, too, just want to voice to the family how heartbroken we are for all of you, and that we're here today to support you as we move forward trying to find justice for these children and their families. Today we're announcing that a combined reward has been up to $180,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the individuals involved in these cases today. 10-year-old Ladavionne, 9-year-old Trinity, and 6-year-old Aniya deserve that from all of us. Our children are our most precious resource, and we need to create a system and a society where it's safe for them to exist and to thrive, and the first step in that is finding justice for them in these particular cases that we're talking about. Spotlight on Crime is offering $150,000 of that reward, and then Crime Stoppers is offering up to $30,000 there. Spotlight on Crime award that we're announcing today is the largest ever in Minnesota, and I think that's indicative of how important these cases are to bring justice for the children in this case. We fully believe that there are people that have information that could aid us in solving these senseless crimes that occurred, and that's why this award is being announced today. Our hope is that people will come forward and provide that information, and that this will be the piece that moves somebody across that line to provide that information. As Assistant Commissioner Hodge has noted, that can be really difficult, and we understand the sensitivity and challenge in providing that information. But we are looking to everybody to do that here today and come forward with that. The Spotlight on Crime is a unique public-private partnership. It's a private partnership with private companies and members that provide assistance to us in monetary rewards such as you're seeing here today, and they work closely with law enforcement. It, like Crime Stoppers, is funded by private donations that are then made available in these situations to help us solve crimes such as these. Since June of 2001, Spotlight on Crime has existed and offered over $1.4 million in rewards for 26 different cases. We're asking anybody with information in this case to either contact the Minneapolis Police Department, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension at 877-996-6222, or bca.tips@state.mn.us. We'll have that information on our social media and on our website if people need that information. And we are grateful to Spotlight on Crime and Crime Stoppers for stepping forward in these situations, being a true community partner to help us in assisting in creating these tips to solve these crimes. Lastly, we're grateful to Clear Channel, who provides information. You'll be able to see billboards with this information, advertising the children that are behind us here today, to provide information and tips to bring even greater awareness to these cases so that we can do this for these families and together with the community solve this and create safety in the community. And with that, I will turn it over to Robert.
I'm Bob Denniston, Board Chair of Crime Stoppers of Minnesota. Somebody knows something, and somebody has said something to, like was previously said, to a friend, to a spouse, to a mother, to a brother, to a buddy. Villains talk either because they brag or because they have a sense of remorse. If you have heard some of that information, you can stay safe and bring that information forward to Crime Stoppers, and we will see to it that it gets to law enforcement. We don't want to know who you are. Law enforcement won't know who you are, and the information will be useful in helping to solve this crime. We're here today to motivate for action. The motivation part is the enhanced reward that is being put up between supporters of Crime Stoppers and the Spotlight on Crime. The motivate for action part comes from reaching out and providing that information and doing so in a way that keeps you anonymous and safe. Everything that we gather, we've been doing it for 42 years, is anonymous. People do not have to give us their phone number, their email address, or their name. So you can come forward, you can help these families get closure on these unfortunate shootings that are attacking the future of our city. So we ask you, please come forward with information that you may have heard from a shooter, a person who knows the shooter, and you will remain anonymous and you will stay safe.
Hi, my name is Dan Ballard. I'm the president of Clear Channel Outdoors Twin Cities Division. On behalf of myself and Clear Channel Outdoor, I'd like to offer condolences to the families of Trinity and Aniya and offer prayers for recovery for the family of Ladavionne. A core tenet of Clear Channel Outdoors' mission is working closely with the neighborhoods that we partner with towards ensuring more safety in those neighborhoods. We appreciate the opportunity today to publicize this reward in partnership with Spotlight on Crime, Crime Stoppers of Minnesota, and the Department of Public Safety. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to have time for questions in just a moment. We'll have some brief comments from each representative from each of the families. So I'll open up the podium to any member of any family member who would like to speak, and then we can take some questions. If you're not interested, that's okay.
Today makes 100 days. 100 days. My grandson has been fighting to live for 100 days. We haven't received justice. We haven't gotten any information. We haven't received anything. This silence is killing our family. It's rules and regulations to the streets. Kids and elders are off limits. It should be no reason that no one has came forward and said anything about these 3 kids that has been shot in the head. It's mighty funny that we could do news conferences today, and I see a lot of elected officials here today, but it's been 100 days. Ain't nobody been there for our family. 100 days. My grandson left North Memorial on May the 26th. He's been at Regents Hospital. I haven't seen anyone, haven't heard from anyone besides the police, but everyone can seem to make it to the conference today, though. Where is the support for the families? Where are these kids were in your streets? These is y'all streets. Y'all are supposed to protect and serve our children. When did it get to the point that our kids can't ride in the car? When did it get to the point that our kids can't go to McDonald's? When did it get to the point that our kids can't even jump on a trampoline? Where is the safety at for our children? These is our future. This is our doctors, our mayors, our lawyers, our police chiefs. Where is our protection at for our children? This is getting ridiculous. Every day in North Minneapolis is a shooting. Every single day. It's nobody's off limits now, from women to kids to even elders. No one is off limits. It's a shame that we got to protect ourselves to even go to a corner store. It's a shame that we got to protect ourselves to even go do anything with our kids. It's a shame that we have to sit outside and watch our kids play in order for them to feel safe. It's a shame that we don't even feel safe if we're not outside with our kids. That's ridiculous. When we made memories as kids growing up, we have a lot of childhood memories. These kids are losing their memories because they can't get outside to play. They can't enjoy life because we have to be fearful of what may happen to our kids in these streets. This isn't fair. This ain't fair to no family. When are y'all gonna say something? When is somebody gonna say something? We deserve answers. We deserve to know. These were kids shot in the head. In the head. This is execution style. In the head. Just because my grandbaby is still here, he's fighting to live every day. His battle is not over. This is a long battle. This is a journey. I closure. It's 100 days today. Today. When are we going to get closure? When are we going to get closure? When is it going to be safe for our kids to get outside and play? Like kids. We can't take our kids to McDonald's. We can't buy our kids trampolines. We can't ride around with our kids. That's crazy. That is crazy. We got to do something. So all these officials that's out here, electees, mayors, candidates, whatever you are out here, we got to do something. We can't keep voting y'all in if y'all ain't going to do nothing. We cannot keep voting y'all in if y'all ain't going to stand up for our community. Y'all are here to protect us. If y'all not be his voice, I'm going to be his voice. I'm going to be my grandson's voice until he can talk and say it on his own. Y'all going to get tired of me talking because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to. I'm not going to stop until we go into trial for whoever did this for my grandson. Then I'm going to stop. Because justice will be served. You may be laughing now, but you will cry later, mark my words, one way or the other, sir, or ma'am, whoever you are. Because you don't have a conscience. Because if you had a conscience, you would have been came and said something. These are babies, kids. They don't have a future because y'all robbed them. Who are y'all to say what y'all can do for our kids? Y'all robbed our kids. And it's wrong. And y'all need to be held accountable for it. We need answers. Please, someone say something. We had 180,000. Money talk, money the root of all evil. Money talk. Somebody gonna say something. Somebody done pillow talked. Somebody done told their mama. Somebody done told their daddy. Somebody knows something and they keeping it a secret. A secret. There should be no secret. These were kids. These were babies that didn't deserve this. Why is this so cold of silence for our babies? They didn't deserve this. $180,000. You will remain anonymous. Say something. Do something. Give us some type of closure, please.
Thank you, dear sister. Like she just said, this has went on far too long. It went on far too long to where it almost took me to the place where I wanted to say, look, it's taking too long. I'm going to take justice in my own hands a week ago. It's no secret. These children didn't deserve this. I kept hearing her talk about we. I need to say this, that the we is us. Y'all don't know. We know. So that we that's in the community that know need to say something. Much respect due to our chief and the detectives who've been working on this case. But without no names and no evidence, there is no case. The we in the community got the names and the evidence. It's out here. We're not going to be safe, dear sister, until we tell who's making it unsafe. And trust me, they ain't just started with our three. They've been out here doing this long before that, and that's the reason why we standing here right now. Because these same individuals that shot our children have been shooting people long before this. And nobody told that they was doing the shooting. There's other children whose cases have been not solved. There are people who have shot their children out here, and nobody still to this day didn't tell who shot them either. So the we is us. The justice is going to come from us. Somebody saying either it's today because of this press conference or the money that was raised. If that's what it takes to motivate you to turn in some child shooters and killers, take the money. And I'm quite sure some more people out here say you can have the money in our pockets too, if that's what it takes. But whatever it takes, for you to turn in these people, which could be some of your family members. Enough is enough. She just said it, 100 days, 2 months. For our families also, I know over 2 months, that we have no justice, no closure every day. I'm still continually, another day this morning, waking up without no missed texts or missed calls, saying we got him, KG. I wouldn't want nobody to feel this. If you watching this, if you know who did this, I know you watching this. If you did this, I know you watching this. It's time to stop running, ducking, dodging, and hiding. You gotta be uncomfortable. There ain't enough weed, enough pills, enough alcohol at no liquor store or bar that's gonna help you make this go away. We need closure. But not just only us as the family, the community needs closure. Because when you do something to a child, it affects the community and the families. So we all sitting around waiting. Started out in the beginning, sad, tears, grieving. Now it done turned to anger. I know it had for me. I'm furious. Trying to stay peaceful. Thank God I got some people to help me do that. I'm tired. Tired of waiting. I know the families are tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting for all of us. You started out in the beginning, I'm going to close with this. You started out in the beginning, I looked at this as some people out here who was bogus, who accidentally shot our children. Because ain't no way I want to put in my mind that you did it purposely. Okay, it started out that way. Okay, you should have turned yourself in day one. And that's why when you didn't, I called you monsters. And then I turned around, I'm going to do it again. At this press conference, you that know who did it, I'm calling you monsters too, because you ain't turned them in that did it. And like you heard the sister today, we want our communities to be safe. Our police, yes, they could do something to help us do that. But they're going to need help from us to help us do that. That's why we got community organizations, such as Mother's Love and others, that are out here trying to help us put things back together. But we can't do nothing without the community help. You continue to let these people stay out here, you're putting our lives in jeopardy also. Please, in my close, don't wait until these same people shoot one of your children, and then now you want a press conference begging somebody, hoping that some money is raised to turn into shooters or killers of your children. I don't want you. We don't want you to feel like we feel. We don't want you to be on this side and we watching you on TV because you didn't turn them in. Because as of today and right now, they still out here. And the day isn't over. I done heard already it was a shooting or maybe a homicide already today. Day ain't over. Made up a flyer that says your child could be next. We were warning you. I remember when Ladavionne was shot first before Trinity and Aniya. Mother's Love, me, other people in the community was warning that your child could be next. Maybe 5 children, I think now, have been shot since then. Nobody's arrested. Your child could be next. That is why not only we need closure for us and our families, because we don't want your child to be next. So you need to think about that while you holding that secret. That horrible secret that got to be eating you up daily, or while you watching this right now. It's time to make things right with God, these families, and the community that cares, and to save somebody else's child, maybe even yours.
So thank you, KG. Thank you for your comments today. We're going to open it up for questions for any of the speakers. And we'll get underway. Any questions from media? Yes, Nina.
I know there's obviously no excuse for people have not, come forward in so long. But could someone just explain for anyone who may want to come forward but they're afraid how all of this works? Because what if somebody thinks, am I going to have to testify at trial? How am I anonymous but I'm still getting money? How are you going to give me my money then? Sorry it's so indelicate, but if someone could just explain that, maybe it's helpful.
Yeah, so the question is, how does this work if someone in our community wants to come forward and provide some information? So the first and most important thing is you can remain anonymous. We just need to find out who's responsible for our baby's deaths, and we don't care about your name. We don't need your address. As was mentioned before, we don't need a return phone number. We don't need an email address. We'll get that information through the BCA, Superintendent Evans' teams, and also through Deputy Chief Wade. We'll get that to our investigators, and we'll follow up. But if anyone out there in our city, in our community, has information, but they're concerned it may come back to them, it won't. We're focused on just trying to bring those responsible so that our families here can get a sense of justice. I don't know if you want to say anything else.
For the Crime Stoppers part, we have a process in place where you can contact us online, by phone, or by smartphone app. And we are set up that when you contact us, none of that data, the caller ID, the URL for the email, or the phone number for the smartphone app, we do not have that. We have an agreement with the phone company that we do not send us that caller ID stuff. So we can't know something we don't know. So if you call and have a tip, we'll give you an identifier, 2468. That's who you are, okay? And then we'll take the content of that information and turn it over to them for them to investigate. Then, if you want to check on the status of your tip, you access the system again and you tell us you're 2468. We don't know if you're John, Joan, or Billy, or Rudolph, but you are 2468. So that's how we communicate, is that you contact us and we will post a status. If there is a change in status, we will post that. So whether you call our call center, which has translation capability for multiple languages, you go online where you use that code. So that's the process. And there's about 300 and some Crime Stoppers across the United States, and we all do the same thing. We gather information anonymously, we turn it over to law enforcement, the information, because we don't know who the tipster is, and then if it qualifies, pay a reward. Hope that answers your question.
Chief, I had a quick question about the investigation. There were some court documents at one point seeming to suggest ballistics might be getting close on at least one of them. How close have we gotten? I mean, is there any evidence? Are there any kind of hard leads that could give the community hope at all, or are we just kind of grasping at straws right now?
I'm going to let Deputy Chief Kathy Wade of our Investigations Bureau comment on that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So yes, there have been a number of leads. There is evidence, but we need more. We need more from community to come forward, to be willing to share more information so we can help these families out, so we can help out the victims of these crimes and the community that we serve. So we need more. We don't have enough. But with your help, with getting word out to the community, that's going to make the big difference here. And we need all the voices to share the information and for people to come forward.
Can I just ask you also about we've heard all about the department being ravaged manpower-wise and how that is being felt throughout the organization. What kind of confidence can you give the community that MPD has the investigative resources to solve this? Is the manpower there?
Absolutely. Our folks are not taking this lightly. They'll continue to work. The folks out on the street continue to answer those 911 calls every single day. The investigators continue to work extremely hard for every shift, trying to get more answers, get more cases solved, and they are solving cases. Every day, arrests are being made, cases are being solved. That's not going to stop. But with these cases, these 3 cases here today that we're highlighting, we need more. And that's why we're coming to you asking for more information to be shared and make those calls. We will have as many investigators as we need to respond to those calls and to do their job out on the streets.
We have time for just a couple more questions.
Homicide just a little bit ago. We had 3 shootings yesterday, 2 people dead. Are people on the north side and the south side living in the middle of a gang war? No one's talked about this. Is that why people aren't coming forward, because we're dealing with gangs fighting gangs and people are afraid to speak because of that?
It's a very good question. You know, I think people have their own reasons as to why they choose not to come forward. Could it be because they're fearful of retaliation? It could be. Could it be that they just don't have the inclination to share that? That could be too. I mean, I think this goes very deep into, you know, people's commitment to the community, and you can see the commitment to the community. There's people out here today. People are dedicated to the community that they serve, the community that they reside in. We're not going to stop, Reg.
Excuse me, ma'am. I think I want to follow up on what he just said. I think that's what it is in our community. It's a gang war in our community. I think that I think the police, they do their job or whatever. I mean, I see them out there patrolling, but I think nobody understands what goes on at 10 o'clock at night at 3 in the morning.
There you go.
It's a war zone out there. We out there on the streets on 36 and Penn. Black lives the streets. Guns down so kids can play. That's who we is. And what we see while y'all sleeping, it's a war zone out there. Again.
A war zone.
When we sitting there hearing 30 rounds go off, and then like we go try to investigate the situation, ain't nobody, you see the shells there, nobody show up. Police don't even show up. So it's gonna take, what it's gonna take, what I'm gonna tell the community, it's gonna take the community, right? For us to get out of our homes and into the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take us men to get out in our community and fight this. Like that's how we gotta do it. If not, we're gonna continue to hear those gunshots. We're gonna continue, hopefully, your child not next. We're not playing about our babies. I ain't had a vacation. I ain't slept right. I ain't ate right. I want justice for Ladavionne. I want justice for Trinity. Else I'm gonna be out there. I need immunity, sir. Can I get immunity? And I'm done. Straight up.
Time for one more question.
This is for the family of Ladavionne. Can you update us on his recovery? How is he doing? Did you say he's still at Regions? Is he critical or?
Doing good. I thank God every day.
Could you come up?
Doing good. Go talk to the people. I'm gonna talk to him. My son doing good. Ladavionne Jr. is doing good. You know, God did it though. Without him, it wouldn't even be possible. You know, but let's talk to him. I don't know.
Keep the prayers coming. He's starting therapy. He is woke. He's not speaking yet, but he is going to therapy 6 days a week. He's improving. Day by day, it's an improvement. He got a long road to recovery. It's not going to be an easy road. You know, he was shot in the head. So, but just keep the prayers coming. He's improving. It's 100 days. We're going to do 100 more days, and we're going to keep on going because we serve an awesome God. So that's what we're going to do. Thank y'all so much.
Bob, can I have you come back for just one moment? There was a very short question. We'll wrap it up right after this. People are wondering how you would collect the reward. So how does that process happen?
Okay. The question is how would the tipster collect the reward? We get creative. Like I said, the tipster needs to contact us, and we will. Okay, the decision has been made to give this tip a reward. Okay, so like I said, we'll post that information to that tip, so when the tipster contacts us either at the call center or online, there's a message there of here's you've been authorized to receive a tip in the tip of so-and-so case. So then we will talk about how to get that money to them. I have met in the parking lot of a Caribou where I have said, tipster 2468, I drive a white Highlander, I'll be at Caribou on South Robert Street between 2 and 2:15, and and have your the money for your reward. They come up, I ask them, are you tipster 2468? I give them the money. We've had tipsters walk in, say, I want to pick it up at so-and-so precinct in St. Paul. So we arrange to have it at the desk, and the tipster can walk in there. We'll get creative, because we do have that ability to communicate back and forth, but we want to keep the person anonymous. We don't want them walking into some place where they have to identify themselves by name. Maybe they give us a self-addressed envelope that has their neighbor's address on, but no name, somebody they trust, and we'll send it that way. We've paid out rewards, and we've always kept people anonymous. So it takes a little creativity. It's not a cookie cutter process, but we'll get it done.
Y'all gonna go pick them up today?
Say what?
So if somebody call y'all with one of our kids today, y'all gonna go pick them up today?
Pick up the reward?
If somebody call y'all with a tip today,
right?
Is y'all gonna go pick the person up that they say today? Y'all gonna go get them today?
No. What we do is we turn that information around and send it to law enforcement. And then they add that to their investigation. And when they make the arrest, they report back to us, hey, Crime Stoppers, that tip you gave us was instrumental in making that arrest. And then we have the information that that was successful, then we will decide that that tipster needs that reward, and then we'll do the communication process here. But we're not law enforcement. We're separate and independent law enforcement. So we gather information, we turn it over to the investigators, they follow through on it, and when they can make the arrest, they'll tell us it was the silver bullet, which rarely happens, but maybe it was a chip or a piece in the puzzle that helps. So that's how that works. It's not a magic wand. It's a little bit tedious, but like everyone has said here, somebody knows something, and even that shooter is talking to somebody. So those bits of information are what we'll collect, we'll turn over to the investigators, they'll follow through on it with correct probable cause, all the legal things they need so they can make a good case, and then they'll report back to us that Crime Stoppers, your tip 2468 was a big help and helped us in this, so then it's up to us to work with that tipster. So we take them out of the loop as far as the handling of the money. I hope that.
Are you guys willing to offer $1 million reward to give the families closure?
Pardon?
Are you guys willing to offer $1 million reward to give the families closure?
We don't have $1 million.
So with all the news organizations and Crime Stoppers, and you said there's been a lot of unsolved cases, are you guys willing to offer $1 million to give the families closure?
We don't have $1 million to offer.
So,
you know.
thank you for your question.
So
thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. If there's any follow-up, we have some information in here, or you can contact us. Thank you.